Hi everyone, this is Joy with Create It with Joy. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's cards are some really fun Christmas cards using Simon Says Stamp Outline Christmas Bulbs background stamp. I've made 3 different cards with this background stamp because I could not get enough of it. So I'm starting off by using my Misty. When you're using your Misty with this kind of background stamp, take out that foam piece. I'm going to be inking this up with Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink. And I'm going to be pushing that down, getting a really good stamped image. Inking it again because I really wanted the sharp black lines for this. So now I'm also going to be using some blue cardstock, and this is from Cardstock Warehouse. This is their Winter Blues, I believe is what it's called. That it's a card pack, excuse me. And so I inked up using clear embossing ink, and I'm going to be using a silver embossing powder. And then I will heat set that. This one we are not going to be doing coloring on. I really liked the silver on this kind of icy blue. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. And then I'm going to be inking up one more. All of these were originally cut to an A2 sized card, and then I trimmed them down. This is a navy blue by Simon Says Stamp cardstock. Prepping it with my anti-static tool, which is what I also did on the one prior. Using clear embossing ink, and then I'm going to be using a gold embossing powder. I love gold and navy. I think it's beautiful for Christmas. I think it's beautiful for an ocean theme. I don't know, there's something just really classic about that to me. So one of my favorites. So then I will heat emboss both of these at the same time. You see that red one there? I did a red and white one. I did not love how the card turned out, so I cut it out of my video and didn't even use it. So ignore that red and white one. I can't even remember what I did now, but I didn't love it. So getting those nice and heat embossed. I think this one is my favorite. Again, like I start on the back, work towards the front, and kind of go back and forth. But I love how the gold turns so beautiful on this blue cardstock. Then when you're done, once it's all dry, buff off like with a rag or a paper towel, all of that anti-static tool powder. Okay, so back to the original one that we stamped with a black ink on white cardstock. This is Nina Classic Crest Solar White cardstock. And I'm going to be using just some basic primary colors, I guess, for these bulbs. I am a person who loves Christmas bulbs and Christmas snowflakes. Something about that just really makes me happy. So the colors that I'm using are R24, 39, and 46, G09, 4, and 28, B16, 26, and 37, Y11, 06, and 19. So I'm using 3 colors per color family. So 3 for red, 3 for blue, on and on. I will also be using a C4, 6, and 8, and that will be for the top part of the bulb. And I'll be using a W1, 3, and 4 for shadow effects when this is all done. I am not going to color this whole thing on camera. I'm just kind of giving you the basic colors and idea of what I'm going to be coloring these as. Excuse me. I had so much fun coloring these bulbs. I don't know, something about it makes me really happy. And these are like these old-fashioned bulbs, like, you know, I was born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s, and this is just what you had. And so I don't know, something about it is just super fun, super nostalgic for me. So adding, you know, the shadowing, the shading that you do with the 3 colors. So now I'm going to be coloring the little top part of the bulbs. And again, I'm using C4, 6, and 8 for these. I'm not going to color all of them on camera. I'm just going to color one to kind of show you what I did. Now I'm going to be taking, and I think I started off with W1 for a little bit of shadow, and I went around each bulb all the way around. But then I'm going to come back with the darker W's, the warm grays, because I really wanted these to stand up off the page like it was 3D. So that's what I'm doing here, and I can't remember if I used the W3 or the W4 here. But I'm showing the shadowing, and then I'm going to finish coloring in the rest of the tops of these Christmas lights. And I also follow the string that the lights are on. So hopefully you guys can see here the shadow effect, and it makes it look like it's 3D popping off the page. Now I'm taking my white gel pen and going over where there's already the highlights stamped into these images and going back over with the white gel pen, which I think looks fantastic. Finishes these guys off. Okay, so now I'm going to be taking the Dylusions white linen shimmer spray, spraying it all over the top of this because I really want this to feel like it's lit up and you're seeing spots of lights, and I don't even know how to describe it. I just love it. I'm going to dry that with my heat tool. And then I'm also going to take Lawn Fawn's liquid stardust and drop some droplets of that on there. And these two combos with the Dylusions white linen shimmer spray and the liquid stardust, I absolutely love together. That liquid stardust white linen gives it a white effect, but it's also glittery. Really super, super pretty. So I hope that you guys can really see it on the camera. I'm going to take a sheer shimmer craft spray and spray it on that blue one. And I'm going to use my heat tool to dry that. I want just a nice shimmer on the background of this cardstock. And as you can see, a little bit of shimmer. I did not do that on this dark blue background. What I did here was I took some metallic watercolors, really watered it down, and I'm going to splatter that all over this background. Probably should have did it in the box as well, but that's what you have this Tim Holtz glass media mat for. It cleans up nicely. So I'm just putting these gold dots everywhere, so you kind of still get that effect of the shimmery lights, if that makes sense. Okay, so time to adhere this all together. I'm going to be using Heffy Doodle's Christmas die cut. I adhered that red cardstock paper to some fun foam and stick it. Ran that through my die cut machine, popped that out. I did that twice. And then I used a sentiment from Lawn Fawn's Trim the Tree, excuse me, to cut out the word Merry. And then I had this really fun red and white striped cardstock that I got from my local craft store. I attached that to an A2 size card base. I trimmed down the blue light bulb background and attached that to a small white frame. And I will be popping that up with some fun foam. If you don't have any foam tape or you want to save it for different projects, use fun foam because it covers the whole back, and I just use some liquid glue and adhere that down. I'm using Lawn Fawn's glue tube here, and it gives it some dimension. So as you can see, that blue panel has a small white frame around it, and then you can see the red and white stripe, and I think it turned out fantastic. So I'm going to adhere down the word Christmas, which has some dimension as well. And I already stamped and trimmed out the word Merry. And I'm going to glue this down. And then I'm going to also add some Nuvo crystal drops in red berry for a little bit more red on top of this really pretty blue background. I love that Christmas sentiment. I think it turned out fantastic. This color combination I think is so much fun. I think it's really playful. So adding a few embellishments, a few dots here and there, which you could leave it off too. It looks just as beautiful, but I feel like I need a little something to finish it off. Being that this is not a colored background, I didn't color it with markers, anything like that. So A few here and there. Sometimes I have to sit back and look and decide how much more I think it needs. And that one is done. Really super pretty. And I love all the dimension on this card with the background and the sentiment. Okay, so on to the next one. I had some gold and white striped metallic cardstock in my stash. I trimmed this blue, this blue panel down smaller than an A2 size card base. And I also trimmed the gold and white cardstock piece smaller. So there's basically 3 frames. I'm going to be using that other Christmas die cut that I die cut out of the red cardstock. And I will adhere that down. And then I will adhere down the word Merry. And I cut just the little flag ends on that sentiment. Don't forget to dot your I. Don't lose your eye when you die cut. I lose my eyes all the time. And I'm going to adhere this one a little bit over the word Christmas, where the other one was under the word Christmas. So a little bit different. And then I'm going to be using Simon Says Stamp Smooch Sequins. There's some golds and some reds that I'm going to be putting in and around. And then that card will be done. I'm just using a jewel picker and Lawn Fawn's glue tube to adhere that down. And that card is done. What do you guys think? I love it. I think it turned out so pretty. Okay, now this one is my absolute favorite card. So I used Simon Says Stamp Tiny Words Christmas and stamped out Merry and Bright. And I did it in a silver embossing powder and just popped that up on foam tape and left it as is. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I hope that these cards inspired you. Thank you so much for all of your support. Please subscribe, thumbs up, share, comment. I love all of that. I do have some affiliate links below. It costs you nothing, but it does help me. And I hope you guys have a really wonderful Christmas. Bye.